spend 15% with minority contractors. How much is going to be spent with black contractors? When you make up 40% of the population, you're not a minority. So how did we end up on the outside looking in? And was there a promise made?
Yes, as I understand it, there was a promise made that 15% of the business would go to minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses, I understand. But I think that, you know, we use terms and we really don't understand the impact of the terms. Had the 15% even been reached for minority or women-owned businesses, that still could have excluded black-owned businesses. Because if we just throw the term minority around and all of us jump into that big cauldron, then there are other businesses, other minority businesses, such as Indian and Arab businesses that can go in and get a significant portion of that 15%. So my question is, how much of a percent of the business is going to black-owned businesses, not minority-owned businesses, black-owned businesses? I think that is the question that we, as black citizens of Cincinnati, have to deal with. First of all, I think that we approached this whole stadium issue improperly, in the wrong way, collectively. I always deal in collective terms when it comes to the black community, and I think that when it occurred, I hate to say we should have, but it seems to boil down to that all the time. We're always dealing retrospectively. We should have brought a different group of folks together, or an additional group of people together at the table to really negotiate an agreement, if not a contract. I understand they couldn't negotiate a contract, but really an agreement that could be, that could have been executed immediately thereafter. I think where we made some of our mistakes was that we brought the process to a certain point, and certainly those folks who were at the table should be commended for that. They opened the door to the process. But then immediately thereafter, there should have been another group to come in and to say, okay, here's how we're going to make sure this happens. There was no process that took place after that first stage. Well, I know Cincinnati has, the city of Cincinnati has a program that gives a certain percentage of contracts to minority-owned businesses. There's the word again, minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses. My thinking is this: I don't want there to be a ceiling. If we're going to deal in percentages, let that percentage be the floor. Yeah. Let 15% be the floor. I want to say the sky's the limit for black people. I don't want to say, well, we have 15% sitting out there, let's go get that 15%. No, let's go get 50%. If we're prepared, and as our businesses grow, we can get more than 15%. So I don't settle for that. I don't settle for putting ceilings on it. You can have a floor, but don't give me a ceiling. I don't want that.
I'm completely in agreement with you because they don't limit us to spending 15%.
Exactly. Exactly. You just hit the nail on the head. That's right. You can spend as much as you want, but you can only make 15%. Right. It doesn't make any sense.
I have another call. I'll see you then. Peaches Photography. This is Peaches. How may I help you? Anthony, where the heck is my money? You know I didn't charge you the full amount. Yeah, I know MC Hang Time is one of your clients. What does that have to do with you paying me my money? Look, you driving around in his car has nothing to do with me. Keeping gas in it ain't my problem. Wait a minute. The autographed CD you gave me. I thought that was a gift. I don't care to retails for $14.95. I will not deduct it from your bill. Look, it's been 2 months. I want my money. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
In the black community, there's a church on just about every corner. What role do they play in helping the community and helping black businesses? A group of black ministers bought the land to open the Avondale Town Center. Before the Town Center, there was no place nearby for the people in the community to shop. Reverend Wallace explains to us how they were able to make this purchase.
We decided to form a group. We called ourselves the Avondale Coalition of Churches, which is comprised of Southern Baptist, Carmel Presbyterian, Corinthian Baptist, and Greater New Hope Baptist. The ministers at the time were Reverend Milton, now it's Reverend Dennis Edwards, myself, Reverend Wallace, and Reverend Donald Jones from Greater New Hope, and Reverend K.Z. Smith from Corinthian. And so we worked together, and we worked with the city, and were able to secure a HUD loan for the purchase of the shopping center. We secured a property manager, C.B. Richard Ellis is our property manager, and they were one of the few property managers companies that came forward to say, hey, we would be willing to work with you and help you get this shopping center up and going. One thing I would say that early on we tried to identify some property managers that had, in the African American community, that had the kind of expertise to help us, but there were none. There were people who had managed strip malls and things of this nature, but from the standpoint of developing them and helping to revitalize them, there just weren't persons who were available. So as a result of that, we came together, and what you have now is the result of our collaborative effort. And it's been sort of a labor of love, but it's also been a very eye-opening experience. One of the things that we have come to face is that even today in 1998, is that there is still a stigma attached to doing business in the black community, and particularly in Avondale. And I believe that it goes back to the late 60s, early 70s when there were riots here. And this community, for all practical purposes, was abandoned in terms of it being a viable business opportunity for people to consider for business purposes. And so that has been one of the things that we have continuously struggled with, trying to get persons, potentially businesses, to look at locating in the area. We have some space available. One of the problems that we have right now is that we have to almost, by necessity, look for major businesses, large businesses, to come and to set up shop here in order for us to be able to provide opportunities for small black businesses to come. We are not in a position to take the risk for startup businesses right now, and that's one of the things that's very frustrating in the work that we have been doing with the shopping center. First, I don't think that